Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at Etrailer, and today we have the Inno Quick Base Kit with a 2-bike carrier mounted to your quick bases for your roof. This is gonna allow you to carry up to 2 bikes of different shapes and different sizes with the modular quick base system. Let's take a look at some of its features as well as how to use it right here at Etrailer. Now, loading your bike on your roof is going to depend on the height of your vehicle, where you have your bike rack, as well as the weight of your bikes. So this is the way I've found makes sense for me to do this, but it will depend on you. Now, the first thing you have to do is open up the arms. I like to push them out as far as possible. They do have a stopper, so you're not worried about it hitting your roof. And then I have a second person come over and help get the rack up. So while I get the front wheel up, they support the rear wheel until I can grab the whole bike. All right, thanks Aiden. So helpful. So now that that's in place, I can then bring these arms up and over. Attach the front one as well, and then you're good to go. Some people like to bring the front cradle up a little bit. I might have Aiden hop back in here just to get that front cradle back in. Perfect. And with that, make sure it's fully secure and your bike is mounted. And now it's time to load up the second bike. So some things to note here is I put up a mountain bike because it has larger pedals and larger handlebars just to show that it is possible to load 2 bikes up side by side. For your distance, you have 15¼ inches center of tray to center of tray. So notice here, we can easily swing up our mount without hitting the other bike, and we can get our second bike up there. For the second bike, when you do put that on there, do be mindful of your handlebars as well as your seats between the 2 bikes, and then the pedals when you put that second bike on. You'll also notice that I have them faced in alternate directions. So one bike's facing the front, the other one's facing the back. So that will be a little different compared to what you may be used to when seeing bikes on the roof rack, but this is gonna be the best way to make sure both of them can fit. And of course, we're gonna give our bikes a good little shake test. Now, I've made sure that there are no more clicks left in the cradles, so they're as tight as they possibly could be on the bikes. And while they do still feel a little wobbly, in my experience, that's about on par for your wheel mount racks. What's not the same as usual is there's a little bit of accessory wobble, meaning our rack does move a tiny bit within the quick base system. Now, the true test of all this is gonna be when we take it out onto the test course just to see how everything moves. So on our test course, we go through different types of things. So the first thing was our uneven speed bumps. That's to simulate hitting a pothole or exiting a curb. I did see a little bit of wobble there, but honestly not as much as I expected. Then we have our up and down speed bumps, and that is like our up and down movement. Again, a little bit of movement there, but nothing crazy. We also have our slalom where we do our very quick turns and even our very fast U-turn. And here, very little movement of the bikes or the rack, which I'm happy about. So all in all, even though it did feel like there was a bit of wobble of the rack and the bikes before we drove outside, it did perform well on our test course, especially when you compare it with all of our other bike racks. Now, the main thing I did learn though is please make sure that your furthermost bike is fully tightened down. Just do your double checks before you put the second bike on there, because once that second bike is on there, it does make it a lot trickier to check that both arms are fully secure. But other than that, very easy to get those bikes up and on your car. So what types of bikes can this carry? Well, this is gonna have the same specs as the Inno Tire Hold HD, which is Inno's hitch mount bike rack. And those specs are gonna be, you can carry tire widths of up to 3.5 inches. You can carry wheel sizes from 20 inches all the way up to 29 inches. And also for your wheelbase, this can carry bikes of up to 51 inches for wheelbase. So you can see how low those arms go. That makes it a lot easier for those longer wheelbases to get the bikes up and onto the rack. And technically this has 120-pound weight capacity, but because this is a carrier that can go both on your roof and on your hitch, you're more likely to take advantage of that weight capacity on your hitch base. But if you really want to carry that heavy of a bike, that is up to you. You also have to be mindful though of your actual roof weight capacity and your crossbars, as well as where you mount your quick base whenever you think of heavy weighty items like that. This does come with a cable lock, but again, this is more useful in the hitch receiver base. So if you are securing this to your roof, I recommend using your own cable lock, but please just use that when you're parked and not when you're driving. That way you don't have that extra movement on your bikes when you're on the road. So that's what it's like carrying two bikes on your roof with a single carrier. But why would you go this route rather than the more traditional route of getting two separate bike carriers? Because what usually people do is have one bike far on the driver's side, the other bike far on the passenger side, making it easier to load each bike rather than reaching over and towards the center of your roof. So this is where the unique design of Inno's two bike carrier with their roof base system comes into play. The main thing is modularity. If I wanted to, I have a quick base on my hitch as well as a quick base on my roof. And if I wasn't carrying around two bikes and had a friend to help me out with putting those bikes on the roof, I would just take the bike rack off of the roof, put it on my hitch, and then put the box onto the roof. And I still have both things, but in a situation that's a lot easier for me. Another perk of the Inno Quick Base system is how it frees up the rest of your roof for other things. If I wanted to, I could put the Inno box on another quick base tray, or I could put my own roof box or a kayak here on our roof rack. Technically, you can also do that with two separate bike racks and then put your cargo on the inside, but because this is designed to make it easier to access both bikes from one side of the car, this then makes it more convenient to use the other side of the car for those other adventurous things. And while you might be thinking, oh, what if I just put the tray in the middle and then I can grab and mount a bike from each side? Well, I tried that and it really doesn't work that way. While you can flip the carrier for if you have your base mounted on the driver or the passenger side, because all the levers are oriented on the same side, you have to pick which side are you going to mount your bikes to and stick with that. I currently have our bike carrier mounted to the Inno Quick Base tray for your roof, but you can also mount this to the Quick Base frame. So both of them are going to work the exact same way. And while there are locks on the actual base, this doesn't really do anything for adding security to the bikes themselves. Earlier in this video, I did talk about using a cable lock instead. But please make sure that these are locked before you drive away, just because this provides a little bit more push into the accessory, preventing a little bit more movement of that carrier. The quick base design also makes it a lot easier to take care of your bike rack. A common complaint for roof bike racks is that when they're difficult to uninstall, you just leave them on the roof, but then they're super exposed to the sun and the elements, making the moving parts a little trickier to work with over time. Since you can very easily remove the carrier, that helps solve that issue and gives you more incentive to maybe put this in your garage or in your shed when not in use. So while I had my reservations with the idea of a two-bike roof-mounted carrier, just because that's so different from what I usually see on roofs, I actually like how this is designed. Yes, having the bikes alternate does feel a little different, and because the wheels are on, it does feel a bit bulkier and more wobbly than your more streamlined roof bike carriers. But depending on your situation, especially if there's two of you that need to ride around and you don't want to install two things, if you want to make that install process a lot more simple, and if you're invested in the Inno Quick Base system, that's where this product will really shine. If you're looking for just a roof-mounted bike rack though, there are more affordable options out there that you might be interested in. Check those out here at Etrailer, but they don't have the same compact as well as lightweight design that this carrier has. The bike rack carrier itself only weighs 35 pounds, so it is maneuverable for most people to get onto the roof. But today we were focused on carrying bikes on your roof using the Inno Quick Base system. If you're curious about any of the individual components or carrying bikes on your hitch using the Quick Base system, we have those different kits and videos right here on our website. But today you saw the Inno Quick Base tray for your roof, the Inno Quick Base frame for your roof, all used with the Inno Quick Base 2-bike carrier here at etrailer.com. My name is Evangeline, and I hope you enjoyed the journey.